this edition of Southern Newsweek, heavy traffic poses very real challenges to roading crews as the Cora Falls Bridge is redeveloped. The Trustpower National Community Awards are announced and you'll just love the winner and their kai. And Mondelez deliver the hammer blow, gutted and beaten, Cadbury's will close next year. Kia ora, I'm Holly Buchanan. Heavy traffic is proving to be a big challenge for contractors working on the State Highway 6 Cora Falls Bridge at Frankton. However, the NZTA says the project has picked up real momentum since Christmas and should be finished by the end of the year. Mina Amsai reports from the road.
Traffic seems to be a challenge not only for everyday motorists but for the Cora Falls Bridge construction. Senior Project Manager Phil Dorset says it has been the biggest challenge.
The traffic over the last 12 months has grown quite considerably in Queenstown, and that's put more and more pressure on contractors to manage that traffic and minimise the delays.
He says traffic will get worse with the ski fields opening in June, and the heavy afternoon traffic will coincide with skiers leaving the remarkable ski fields. Dorset says the project has picked up momentum despite challenges and delays, and so far the foundation are in the river.
The last two piles are being excavated at the moment, and there are two piers which are complete and have steel resting on them, and the other piers will catch up. So the piers are the columns and the crossheads on top of the piles which will support the structure.
But there's more yet to be done.
And as the piers are completed, the steel will be launched. That is pushed from the south embankment out over the piers, and that will be as far as pier number 4. And then the last two sections of the structure between Pier 4, 5 and between 5 and the northern abutment will be lifted in by crane. Once that steelwork is in place, there's a precast concrete slab goes on top of the steelwork, and then a concrete topping to provide a smooth, continuous surface.
Bridge project was meant to be completed mid-year this year, but now has been pushed until the end of the year. Night work will begin this Sunday until Friday next week from 7 p.m. until 6 a.m. 10-minute traffic delays should be expected between 7 p.m. until 11 p.m. and 50 minutes traffic delays expected between 11 p.m. and 6 a.m. each night. Mina Amso, The South Today.
Some Central Otago churches are welcoming the need for earthquake strengthening on their historic buildings. They welcome the requirements as it will preserve the old churches for future generations.
The Upper Clutha Anglican Parish is one of the religious groups welcoming earthquake strengthening.
This has been a really important project to be involved with because of the heritage value of this church, but also because of the life of the community and all that it's involved in the wider community.
He encourages other communities around the country to jump on board.
There's life and vitality. I would encourage them to get on and protect and preserve the beauty that we have with all these stone buildings.
The parish's Anglican church in Cromwell is currently only at 15 to 20% of the building code, and the government has proposed buildings be at least 33% of that code. The church warden says the old buildings are important for the community's historic value and for the people's enjoyment.
Somebody who used to be here said that you could feel the prayers on the walls. And it has that sort of an ambience, really.
She says if they don't upgrade the church, they'll be turning away from their heritage. The cost of the strengthening has been quoted at $50,000 to bring the building up to 34% of the building code. The church is funding the project through donations, a grant from the Central Lakes Trust, and through reserve funds. Siobhan Watson, The South Today.
The group representing Southland at the Trustpower National Community Awards has been announced. Koha Kai helps disabled adults get experience in growing and cooking food, and the project leader says it's humbling to get this recognition.
From the garden to the kitchen, Koha Kai has been teaching adults with disabilities how to grow, prepare and cook food.
Koha Kai is an organisation who works with people with disabilities. So it takes them from a situation where they're at home and isolated from the community and they're marginalised by the fact that they've got disabilities.
The group teaches intergenerational gardening, from growing seeds to recognising when it's time to harvest, and crop care, as well as in the kitchen, learning about food, health, hygiene and safety. Lee and the team are working towards being able to offer NZQA qualifications to people taking part in the group. She's wanting to see these people in paid mainstream work once they graduate the program. But at the very least, she wants the adults to learn life skills that will help them be independent.
It's just normal home cooking, so we do things like meatloaf and cottage pie and roasts and all of those things.
And now the group is going to the Trustpower National Community Awards. Lee says it's amazing to get this kind of recognition.
Astounding, actually. Yes, we are all volunteers. There's nobody in our organisation who gets paid. But that's not the important thing for us. It's about the social aspect of being able to do what we do. And so getting recognition from the community for the efforts that they're making, and these are their efforts that are achieving these wonderful things, that's what's the most important thing. It was completely unexpected but really appreciated when we won the local one, and we're really excited to be representing Southland, going up there and saying, look, this is what we're doing and this is what we can do everywhere.
She says she wants to use this national stage to get other communities creating similar groups. I'm Ruby Spink for The South Today.
Dunedin's Eca Centre was recently the epicentre of Armageddon. It's an event where everyone gets to dress up as their favourite superhero.
A large crowd turned out to appreciate the effort people had put into this year's outfits.
I'm Brienne of Tarth from Game of Thrones, and I started making this back in March last year.
Cosplay is a non-competitive demonstration of people's costume-making prowess. Fictional characters of all sorts featured this year. Even though the first Star Wars movie came out in 1977, it still has a following.
Just basically showing, what's out there and, how passionate we are about Star Wars. And this wee man here, his father actually made this from scratch, so all the electronics and stuff. He's got a built-in iPad on the inside as well that's recording through a little hole there, so you can actually see where he's going as well.
Video game and role-play characters from last century were also featured.
I'm Lara Croft, and this took me like a month. There was no effort in this cosplay, if I'm honest. But it's a lot of fun, and she's a really cool character.
I'm a Chaos Space Marine from the Night Lords chapter, and I've been working on this for 300 hours so far. I'm going to stay in this for another hour or so for some photos, and then I'll be in it again for a few hours tomorrow, but that's about all I can stand.
As well as superheroes, cosplay had something for everyone, from dwarves to fairies. Rudy Adrian, The South Today.
Mondelez International has confirmed the Dunedin Cadbury factory will close in 2018. The company says a 4-week consultation period has failed and more than 300 workers will lose their jobs.
A solitary guard is in place this morning in front of the Cadbury's Cumberland Street corporate entrance, as bells from the Octagon coincidentally mark the passing. More than 300 workers will lose their jobs next year.
Tourists continue to take selfies and chat with the security guard outside of Dunedin's Cadbury factory. However, the factory will close next year. The company says 4 weeks of detailed negotiations haven't worked and it will close Dunedin's Cadbury factory in 2018. Daryl Baser, The South Today.
Coming up on Southern Newsweek, swimmers are lobbying for Arrowtown Pool to be heated, and Southland Girls High School students get a little and give a lot as their community week unfolds. Welcome back. A late summer has kept the temperature of Arrowtown's outdoor swimming pool a little cool for swimmers, and that's led to the suggestion the pool be heated in future. Arrowtown Swim Club President Deborah McLeod is lobbying the Queenstown Lakes District Council to include the project in its annual plan. Mina Abso has more.
Jessica McDonald and her Arrowtown friends have no choice. If they want to swim in March, then they must go to the heated Queenstown Event Centre swimming pool. The Arrowtown pool is owned and operated by the Queenstown Lakes District Council, who say they are aware of the community's needs for it to be heated. Now, the pool have closed already for the year. The water has been drained, but the hope is that if it is reheated, it might still be open at this time of year.
When it's like been raining and it's really, really cold, people wear wetsuits in it.
Arrowtown Swim Club President Deborah McLeod says the weather hasn't been great this summer. The Arrowtown pool is cold and the children struggle to get into the pool.
Great when it's a hot sunny day, but we just really would like it to be heated a little bit so that we can swim a little bit longer in the season and more people would use it.
She says the club has a record number of members this year.
You know, people don't turn up because it's cold.
McLeod and friend Stephanie would like the Queenstown Lakes District Council's help to set up a pool heating system. But she says the idea of heating the pool has been around for several years.
It sort of nothing has happened for a while, but we just wanted to spearhead it and get it started.
Arrowtown Councillor Scott Stevens says council didn't pick up the submissions made for last year's annual plan proposing the pool be heated, but he says he's helping the community make submissions for this annual plan.
So if the ratepayers of this district, and in particular the Arrowtown ward, want to see their ratepayer money spent on this pool, then that's going to be a big indication for council of what the community want.
He agrees the pool's toilets and showers need a facelift too, and encourages the community to get behind the upgrade. Until then, the children will make a Queenstown pool their splash haven. Nina Amso, The South Today.
Jazz notes of all varieties echoed through historic Oamaru recently. The Harbour Street Jazz and Blues Festival was held over 8 venues, more than in previous years. Acts came from as far afield as Auckland, with trumpet diva Edwina Thorne and 4-piece ensemble Freaky Meat. Festival coordinator Julie Barclay says she's thrilled with the continued growth of the festival.
We've had more people coming from all around the world. I mean, we met people who came from Australia specifically to come to the Jazz Festival. We've been talking to people on the street and they're just coming from all over New Zealand, which is awesome.
With the variety of jazz spread over 3 days, different venues and different times, music fans got to sample a number of styles. A cheaper, more frequent and efficient bus service may be a reality sooner than expected for Wakatipu Basin residents. The Otago Regional Council's proposal may become a reality as soon as September-October. Public consultation began this week.
Residents living in the Wakatipu Basin may be able to access affordable and efficient public transport as early as September or October this year. Public consultation on the proposal began today. Support Services Manager Jared Collins says members of the public voiced their concerns over the public transport. He said it would take public support to make the new service successful.
We as a council have advanced our process in relation to the planning for this by 12 months, so we're actually ahead of where we anticipated we were going to be. But again, that's as a result of the community desire to see us take some action sooner rather than later.
4 simple routes are being proposed with a coordinated timetable.
From Arthur's Point to Arrowtown, Sunshine Bay to Remarkables Park and everywhere in between.
Services would run from 6 a.m. until 10 p.m. with one key service running through till midnight. Proposed timetabling would be easy to understand and be based around regular intervals of 15 minutes or half an hour on peak and half an hour or an hour off peak.
So the new contracting framework we put in place, we will have flexibility in relation to the frequencies that we apply, the extent of the service hours, and not only that, the areas that we service. We have a greater flexibility to be able to respond to community demand and need.
But a 24-hour bus service is not part of the deal.
If that's the strong desire of the community, they need to get involved in this process and tell us that.
A fair trial of a flat $2 for Go-Card users right across the network is being proposed. Other proposed improvements still in the pipeline will include a new ticketing system and a mobile app that will allow passengers to track bus routes and timetables in real time. Public submissions on the proposal close April 21st. Mina Amso, The South Today.
Southern Girls High School students are discovering all that Invercargill has to offer them and what they have to offer Invercargill. It's the Year 7's Community Breakout Week and they're making the most of their freedoms outside the classroom environment.
They're young, energetic and out of the classroom for a week. Hi, I'm Ruby Spink in Invercargill at Bushy Point Reserve, where the Year 7 Southern Girls High School students are doing their annual community breakout. They're learning about conservation.
They're in here at Bushy Point. We've been stomping around clearing plants so that they can be sprayed and released and allow the sunlight to get at them to grow better. And they're also experiencing planting trees, which is probably really important because they will be able to come back in 10, 20, 50 years time and say, you know, I planted those.
But they're not only planting and caring for new forests. Year 7 teacher Elaine McAvoy says over the week they're learning about financial literacy, taking art programs, orienteering, going to the library and doing a beach clean. She says this week is a great experience for the girls.
We've been doing this for a long time in Year 7 and 8 and it's a chance for the girls to go out into the community and see what the community has to offer and also to help along the way, and we have people coming in to talk to the girls from the community as well, and it's just a chance because a lot of our girls come from outside of Invercargill as well and they're not always aware of what we have on offer here in the city, so it's a really nice time for them to, it's a whole citizenship based week.
Barry Smith says although the girls aren't spending a long time at the reserve, their contributions go a long way.
And although they only get a few minutes doing each particular little task, what we have in the end is a number of hours of work, probably 100 odd hours of work that's gone and put in by these young ladies, and that means that's 100 hours of work we don't have to do, and it makes it a lot easier.
Elaine McAvoy says it's a great bonding experience for these girls, who are in their first year at a new school, and it gets them connected with the community. I'm Ruby Spink for the South Today.
After the break on Southern Newsweek, Mayfield has a delightful new attraction. It's racing gym, but not as we know it. Welcome back. Crowds gathered at the Mayfield Showgrounds recently to witness everything agricultural and pastoral. But the most unique attraction was the region's yearly pig race.
The recent Mayfield A&P show had crowds line a muddy ring to watch pig racing. This year's 10 pigs were well trained, but still needed some encouragement for the first race of the day. The crowd cheered as they jockeyed for position. Proceeds from the races go to community groups, with this year's beneficiaries the Southern Rugby Club's under-18 team. And when the day's racing was done, there was a special treat, cream buns and donuts, before returning to life on the farm.
The 2017 Gibston Food and Wine Festival was buzzing recently at the Queenstown Gardens with local musician Mickey Brown. The musician performed at the festival among a selection of others in addition to Queenstown's Jazz Orchestra. The festival showcased Central Otago's wines including Hawkshead, Gibston Valley and Rockburn. Queenstown reporter Mina Abso drank in the sights and the sounds.
Queenstown musician Mickey Brown singing and playing her guitar at the Gibston Food and Wine Festival in Queenstown. She says it's been an amazing ride as a musician, and she doesn't think her name resonates as an artist.
When I was younger, I always used to think that Mickey was a boy's name, so I was always like, I don't want to be Mickey. Most of my opportunities from when I was young, performing live, have come from Rock Formation or even things like this today.
Rock Formation is a charitable trust that helps young musicians find their feet and provide them opportunities to perform at festivals like the Gibston and the Winterfest.
When I think of Mickey, I guess just like all the others, she's just had the performance opportunities. She's a very courageous young woman and more than capable of getting her own gigs, which she does all the time. She's very well travelled, and I think it's wonderful to see her so developed and so talented.
Add music, jazz together with food and wine, and you've got yourself a fabulous recipe for people to enjoy.
The favourite actually would probably be this Hawk's Head Pinot Noir. It has been the nicest, yes.
Why is that?
It's quite a rich, fruity wine. Just seems to have a good taste palate to it.
Hawk's Head wine seller Renee Shaw says their wine is made with passion.
See, the Bannockburn Pinot Noir has been really popular. It might be the day because it's a little bit chillier this morning, so they want something deep and strong and nice and smooth, so that's been a winner.
The sunshine was nice. All in all, it was a lovely day here in Queenstown. Until next year, I'm Mina Amso for the South Today.
And finally, an international travelling film festival has been visiting Dunedin this week, promising a series of award-winning documentaries. The Ocean Film Festival has been touring the world for months and is bringing a former Dunedin filmmaker home.
Australian Ocean Film Festival is a collection of video documentaries made above and below the water. Former Dunedin filmmaker Tess Brosnan has returned home as part of the festival's Antipodean tour.
I've been travelling with the Australia Ocean Film Festival, which is an international film festival, and it's their world tour at the moment, so it's the New Zealand leg, and so I thought I'd come along. And basically we have a screening at Rialto on Wednesday night, and it's just over 2 hours of amazing underwater footage, drone footage, all these stories about the oceans. There's 7 stories altogether.
Her movie Whale Chasers was selected for screening at the San Francisco Film Festival, and organisers of the Australia Ocean Film Festival have also asked Brosnan to speak at tomorrow's screening in Dunedin.
I got invited to a tour of the Ocean Film Festival because this year they're including my film Whale Chasers, which I actually made while I was studying at Otago doing the Natural History Filmmaking Masters of Science Communication, and I made that a few years ago in the Marlborough Sounds and in Cook Strait.
She outlines what some of the movies being screened are about and says people turning up dressed up as marine life would look great.
So there's 7 films in the Ocean Film Festival this year, and they're all incredible. I've watched them time and time again, and I'm still not bored. It's actually, the film festival's in the large cinema at Rialto, which is fantastic because there's something really special about seeing all that beautiful underwater photography and the aerial stuff, all of it on a big screen. It's just amazing.
Australia Ocean Film Festival includes a piece on Iceland's only professional surfer, a film on a group of 4 Yorkshire women who went to sea for months without tea, and more. Dunedin's screening is 8 p.m. tomorrow at Rialto. Daryl Baser, The South Today.
And that's all for this edition of Southern Newsweek. Get online and check us out on Facebook, YouTube and Twitter, or keep up with Southern News via our website, channel39.co.nz. I'm Holly Buchanan. Thanks for watching.
Supporting local content so you can see more of New Zealand on air.